If we look for the rudest country in the world according to Wikipedia, we will not find any official data, as they are subjective data. According to the Real Academia Española, the rudest country in the world is Colombia. However, our survey differs quite a bit from that study. If you are wondering which is the rudest country in Latin America and in the world, then keep watching this video to find out. Welcome to another Reviewed for You Travels video. In this one we'll be showing you the list of the top rudest countries in the world. If you like what we do, please consider subscribing and don't forget to like and ring the bell to be notified to our next video. Thank you, keep it groovy. To know the scope of this ranking and top of the rudest countries in the world, we must define the meaning of the word rude. Here it goes. Congratulations to all Colombian. In spite of what one might believe, Colombia is not the most rude nation in the world. Surprised, huh? Well, generally when it comes to negative records, Italy always wins the podium, but not this time. Anyway, there is little to celebrate, we are still present in the top 10. Today we present the top 10 rudest nations and countries in the world, not only to themselves, but also rude to tourists. The following list is the result of a survey which actively involved community travelers. Over 10,000 users were asked to express their preferences, choosing the rudest country they have been to from a selection of over 100 countries. Here's what came out. Turkey, with 2.15% of votes, is the 10th rudest country in the world. At the 10th position we find the Turkey. The survey carried out by the flight comparison site received 1,200 responses and 15% of these saw Turkey as an inhospitable country. Italy, with 2.24% of votes, is the 9th rudest country in the world. Indeed, Italy and Poland, in 8th position, had the same percentage of negative votes. However, for patriotic spirit and national pride, we decided to reward our nation by placing it in 9th place. So, according to the logic of the rankings, we are a little less rude than the Poles. Poland, with 2.24% of votes, is the 8th rudest country in the world. We don't want the Poles, as anticipated, they are in 8th place. Also, Poland was cited among the nations with the least polite people. But mind you, this is not a good reason to give up visiting it. Spain, with 3.15% of votes, is the 7th rudest country in the world. As far as the Spanish, I'm sorry to see them in the rankings. They are a people with typical Mediterranean features, generally kind and sunny. Spaniards are a bit like southern Italians. People are not exactly the best in education and they need to get to know each other a little before revealing their absolutely helpful character. The US, with 3.39% of votes, is the 6th rudest country in the world. USA remain out of the top 5, and this in my opinion is a surprise. When they travel the world, Americans always manage to be recognized for their excessive vivacity and for their generosity. When they receive tourists, however, they are not very tolerant and decidedly grumpy. China, with 4.3% of votes, is the 5th rudest country in the world. The 5th position belongs to China. It is a country rich in traditions, with over 5,000 years of history behind it, but with abysmal cultural differences compared to Western countries. The Chinese are not very hospitable to foreigners and have a suspicious attitude towards those who speak their language in an approximate way. Germany, with 9.93% of votes, is the 4th rudest country in the world. Wooden medal to the Germany. It's amazing how historically the Krauts manage to attract the antipathies of the whole world. They are flawless travelers when visiting other countries, but not as polite in hosting foreign tourists. The United Kingdom, with 10.43% of votes, is the 3rd rudest country in the world. English people, considered among the most rude tourists, they do not seem to have a royal attitude even when they host foreigners. Not surprisingly, with about 10% of the votes, England is on the 3rd step of the podium. Russia, with 16.56% of votes, is the 2nd rudest country in the world. In 2nd place, the Russia, which received over 16% of negative opinions. Not to justify them, but it is possible that some attitudes may be perceived as rude due to cultural differences. For example, in the Russian language, friendly expressions are not often used, which is why when translating a sentence from Russian into English, it may sound unpolite to an English speaker. France, with 19.29% of votes, is the rudest country in the world. It will be a very bad French habit, it will be an absolutely anti-sporting behavior, but when you don't win you can't help but enjoy the defeats of others. This time, the negative record goes to the cousins French. rude and arrogant in the collective imagination, they actually seem to be towards tourists. Pride is a characteristic of Parisians, and they often tend to be as rude to themselves as they are to foreigners. Wanting to break a lance in their favor, it is said that outside of Paris, and the big cities in general, people tend to meet nicer people. To determine which words are rude, we must know what is the definition of this, and for this we will rely on the definition of RAE. According to the RAE, Royal Academy of the Spanish Language, grosero refers to a person lacking education or delicacy. We can define different uses of this word as we refer to rude customs, since it is characteristic of the rude person. Said of a thing, of to the taste, example rude images. Of poor quality or unrefined, coarse porcelain. Do you like our video? Let me know your thoughts. Make sure to subscribe to this YouTube channel by clicking the button above this video.